Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. McLean, and today we will be looking at James chapter 5 for our devotional. And there are two sections to this. The first section will speak about the rich who oppress the poor. And the second section will speak to the poor who are oppressed by the rich. Now, it's not saying that it's wrong to be rich, but it's wrong to enrich one's self at the neglect of others. Come now, the ones who are rich. You need to wail and howl because your adversities are coming on you. Your riches have decayed. Your clothes have become moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver have tarnished in their corrosion, and the corrosion factor is that they're just laying around and not being used for good. Your gold and your silver have tarnished, and their corrosion will be a witness against you and will consume your body, your flesh, like fire. All of you have stored up treasures for your latter days. Now, this doesn't mean that being a good investor is wrong. Being a wise saver is wrong. But it is wrong if you're storing up riches at the expense of people that you owe money or should be using the money for good. Verse 4, pay attention and understand the pay which you owe to the laborers who mowed your fields, the pay which you have swindled from them. It cries out against you, vehemently screams out. And the screams of those who did the harvesting, did all the work, has reached the ears of the Lord of the Sabbath. A terminology of God's role as shepherd and protector. All of you have lived a self-indulgent lifestyle and luxuriously indulged yourselves on earth. That is the problem of the riches. All of you have fattened your hearts in a day of slaughter, like fattening an animal to get it ready for butchering. All of you have condemned as guilty and put to death the righteous. You've not only not just paid them, you've condemned them and you've put them to death. God himself is unable to oppose you in such behavior. Or it could be understood as he, the poor person, is unable to oppose you, the more proper interpretation. And so God screams out to the rich because the poor are screaming out to them. We have been cheated. And the evidence is the corroding of all of their possessions. Rather than paying the people, they are hoarding it. Now, what about the poor person? The abused person, the unpaid person? James says, in view of what I've just written to you, in other words, in view of the fact that God is going to judge, therefore, brethren, brothers and sisters, all of you must patiently endure. Unfortunately, that patient part is hard. That enduring part is hard until the coming of the personal presence of the Lord. All of you must understand that the farmer waits for the precious produce of the soil while being patient about it, the harvest, until he gets the early and the late rains. Indeed, all of you must be patient. All of you must strengthen your hearts because the coming of the personal presence of the Lord is near. Jesus Christ is coming again. And James says that is where your hope is. Your hope is not rebellion. Your hope is patience. Don't know that I like that word. Verse 9, I say sarcastically, brethren, all of you must not grumble against one another. Don't turn on one another so that you yourselves may not be judged. Each one of you must understand that the judge is standing right before the door. Jesus is near to us personally. He is near to us in his presence, and he is near to us in his coming. And therefore, the judge is right at the door. God will judge, as he said in the opening of chapter 5. Brethren, all of you must accept the example of the suffering and the patient endurance of the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Nathan, Moses, Samuel, on and on. And the toughest one, Job. We need to understand that there is suffering and injustice in this world, and we must wait upon God to bring the final judgment. I don't think that James is saying in our modern world that you can't take legal pathways. There were not legal pathways in his day. Verse 11, each one of us must understand and let us consider as blessed those who endure. Encourage each other in endurance. You have heard of Job's perseverance, and yes, he wrestled with it very hard. On my YouTube site, I have a summary of Job. I have a conversation and a post about what Job was to learn through his experience. Job's life is not normative, the kind of suffering that he went through, but suffering is normative to the human experience, the Christian experience. You have heard of Job's perseverance and have understood the conclusion of the Lord, that the Lord is full of compassion and mercy. God saw Job through suffering, through the loss of family. The worst part is God left Job's wife to him, and all she said was, curse him, curse him. And his friends who accused him of all things, and the spiritual warfare that was all involved in it. Yes, this life has suffering and it has injustices, but we must persevere as Job, knowing this: the Lord is full of compassion, the Lord is merciful, he will help us endure. He is standing at the door, and he will come and make things right.